So I think in the Hughes whistleblowing cases, the whistleblowers were acting ethically because in their whistleblowings, they were kind of exposing things that Hughes was doing that through Kantianism couldn't be really ruled or willed universal. So therefore, they're ethical. And basically, what was happening was, I think there were two distinct scenarios. So, for one, Hughes was pretty much selling these defunct radar chips to the Air Force. And then in another, they were kind of reallocating funds for a different Air Force project to another Air Force project to essentially make money because one was fixed rate and one was adjustable rate. And, but yeah, I think that they were acting ethical because you can't really will those things to be commonplace in society just because that would cause a pretty much breakdown of our economy and you couldn't trust people in business deals. But so to get into some of the more nitty gritty stuff, in both the IEEE and the ACM code of ethics, I'm not going to get into specifics because they're pretty lengthy and whatnot, and we have a lot of stuff. But anyways, they both pretty much touch on the general ideas, like do respectable and honest work and don't indirectly or directly condone the harm of others, etc. And I think that both of these acts by Hughes pretty much went against that because, well, first of all, it wasn't respectable or honest in the slightest bit for both cases. And especially in the case of the defunct radar chips, they could potentially harm people because they could lead to, I think it specifically in one of the articles, I really don't remember, but they talked about how they could screw up missile targeting systems. But anyways, just in light of those, I think it could also be ruled ethical. But also I want to talk about the De George kind of properties of whistleblowing and what needs to be met to be considered for whistleblowing to be considered ethical, So the 5 things he kind of outlined are: is it serious harm to the public, or is serious harm to the public at stake? Have you told a manager? Have you tried every possible inside channel, so like not a news outlet or the government? Do you have persuasive documented evidence, and are you sure whistleblowing would work? And while I think that's a good kind of outline and generalization of what to look for in the case of whistleblowing, I think that his kind of take in that all 5 conditions need to be met is not really appropriate because, we can just kind of forget the first one about serious harm to the public at stake, especially in light of the one with the reallocating of funds. And there could still be millions of dollars at stake with that reallocation, and people could really kind of get the short end of the stick there, and that is still worthy of whistleblowing to me because, again, you can't really, you can't wish unjust deals to go universally ethical just because, well, they did it this time. And that would cause a collapse of the economy, as I said earlier. But nonetheless, I think that it's a good kind of outline to go by, and that it shows that a lot of these conditions were certainly met, if not very possibly. But also, I want to point out that one of the kind of whistleblowers was like a board of ethics director, I believe. It was some kind of ethical worker for Hughes. So, it was quite literally his job to oversee stuff like this and make sure that they are acting ethically. So he was right in doing so specifically. And then also, so this is from New York Times, and documents from Northrop Grumman, like the kind of parent company that developed the B-2 bomber, I think it was, that Hughes basically reallocated funds to another project to supposedly get more money. But in a document released by Northrop, I think the relationship is that Northrop subcontracted Hughes to build the radar, and Northrop's like kind of building the plan as a whole. But anyways, in a document that Northrop released, they believe that the system led to millions of dollars in unauthorized cost increases for the radar. And like I was saying, that just can't go, without a whistleblowing, because that's a lot of money that would unduly be used, and you can't do that. But yeah, those are just a few of the reasons why I think the Hughes whistleblowers were acting ethically.